welcome everybody. I'm so glad to have you here and joining me to talk about Airtable, which is not really a digital marketing platform as such, but it's something that we are just using constantly, endlessly. I was going to say a million times a day. That's a slight exaggeration, but I will then instead say gazillions of times a day. So there are so many different ways that we use it. And I think the fact that it is free, like so free, it's ridiculous, that it's really good to just get stuck into it. So we've made you a presentation. I'm going to share it with you now. We also have something a little fabulous if you want to receive that we can send to you. And for those in the Action Takers group coaching, you'll be very happy to know, and also our one-on-one coaching clients too, you'll be happy to know that Honey has just created some absolute magic for you all with a complete guide all the way through. So not just why you want to use it and a bit of that, but also how exactly to set things up, which is super exciting. So let me share my screen without further ado. And if you guys would like to jump into the chat and take this moment as a little opportunity to share who you are and what you do and how you help people, and see who you might like to connect with. Jump onto Facebook, befriend your new friends, follow them on their socials, and oh my goodness, hasn't there been some dramas on social of late? So if you subscribe to my email list, then you'll have just got your email, because I had to rewrite it again and sort of do a little bit of an update on all of that, because it's just so intense what's going on. It's certainly not just the news pages that have been shut down, not just the big ones that most of us thought it would be. It's the little ones as well. And it's even Vogue magazine. They've been shut down. It's Mamma Mia has been shut down. There's so many, it is unbelievable. So we're writing a big fat blog post about that for you right now. We'll be sharing that as soon as we can. But in the meantime, I've got some brilliant ways that you can be reaching your clients if your page gets shut down. I even read today that in Australia, that's a terrible thing to say, a funeral director, which is clearly not film, a funeral director's page got shut down. So there's been so many businesses in Australia caught up in the whole thing. And the funeral director, it took him 2 days of constant badgering Facebook and saying, this is just out of control. I'm not a news source. But they said something like, but you're sharing news. The whole thing has just gone mad. So yeah, my big question in my email today out to everybody was, what would you do? How would you reach your audience, your community, your ideal customers, all the different people that you have following you on Facebook? How would you reach them if your page suddenly got shut down? We all know that the only thing you actually own is your email list. That's it. And your website, but specifically your email list. If everything went pear-shaped, you have that list. And you, even if all of the platforms got shut down for emailing, like MailChimp and Klaviyo, etc., you could still get onto trusty old Gmail and send them an email. So important. And Sue, I just got your email with a very good subject line, making me go, oh, yes, I must be opening that very soon. So well done to you. That's awesome. So I'm looking forward to opening that very shortly. So guys, keep that in mind while I jump into this right now. This is not about email marketing. This is about Airtable, but you will see that when we go through our Airtable and I share all that with you, you will see some of the ways that we even have email lists, etc., in there, just storing as a database. So, they did. But more to the point, what a good student. There you go. So let's share right now. And here we are in Canva. And let me open up the first page. Do all of you know how to do that in Canva when you want to look at all the things together? If you don't, just have a little look at this. You just go down to the bottom of the page. You can see the help purple button on the bottom right. And then you can see here, I'm on 56% looking at the size on the screen. But if I click on this, number 34, it lets me look at it as a grid. So I can move things around and change them or delete them or, you know, whatever it is that I need to do. So the grid view is a great little way to look at things. Okay, so I'm going to click on present. And if you've got questions, I invite you to put them into the chat and I'll get to them when I finish this first section. So let's go present. And I'm just having to turn my aircon down because it is so warm on the Northern Rivers today. So this is the Digital Marketing Webinar series. And today it is getting started with Airtable. And maybe I might even rename it to why should you even use Airtable? Because if you don't even know it exists, you can't even know why you want it. But I just quickly changed it and just threw this one in so it would prompt me, but I already started, prompt me to remember to talk to you guys about this hoo-ha that's going on Facebook. So I've written here, growing and nurturing your email list is one of the top priorities if you want to grow your business. Now, we've always known that. Anybody that has ever heard me talk knows that I always say, you know, you don't own your socials, you only own your email list and your website. So you need to absolutely make sure that you're constantly growing those. But it's not just enough to grow it, you also need to nurture that email list. So make sure that you're sending out newsletters that they want to receive, that's chock full of information that they want to know about. Also, in that newsletter that I just sent out, I mentioned about an amazing new thing that I have done with my team. And it's all about, I think what it's called is 15 ways to make sure people open your emails. So I'm going to offer that up to you guys as well if you would like to receive that. But the easy way to receive it is when you open the newsletter, you just reply with yes, please, and we'll get that through to you. So, as you know, I'm Kylie and I build brands. My business is Hello Media and I help entrepreneurs and businesses get visible online so they attract their customers to them instead of chasing them. I help people to simplify their digital marketing, and digital marketing means all the ways that you show up online. So that is from your website to your email marketing, to your social media channels, to your Google My Business, to all the different ways that people see you. And I do that through one-on-one and group coaching programs, masterclasses, etc. And I am supported by a fabulous team. I need that to be in there because I definitely couldn't do what I do without them. And I've got a little thing here that says, it's not should we work on our digital marketing, but rather how well are we working on our digital marketing? So thank you all for joining me today. And I'm glad you're here because it tells me that you are a lifelong learner. And that's what we should all be aiming to do, because particularly in business, it never really stops. We need to constantly be learning, evolving, and expanding our skill set. So I'm going to skip through this one because this just shows you all the different things that I do and the different ways that I connect with people from my Positive Passionate Businesswomen meetup group, which, by the way, the topic for March is LinkedIn. So definitely something that everybody needs to know about, to the bite-sized conversation webinar that I do every Friday with Jenny Walk, and you know, other presentations and things. So at the moment, if you haven't already connected in with Nortec, so I think it's nortecsmallbiz.org, that might be the website. Maybe Merlin, if you could pop that in the chat, that'd be great. I do teach for them some workshops on different topics. And you'll find a whole bunch of other things on there that will help. And they're all subsidized by the government due to what's been going on in the past year. So go in there and learn as much as you can. Julie Dixon has recently done one of theirs about flat lay photography, which she said was really good. So make sure you jump onto that if you need to have photos of products, et cetera, for your business. That sounds like some really great tips that were being given out in that. Okay, so let's move on to what is Airtable. And I'd like you guys to jump in the chat and let me know what experience so far have you had with Airtable. Have you looked at it? Have you heard of it? Are you using it? Do you want to use it better? Just tell me what it is that you already know about it. So in what way you're using it, if you're using it. So Leanne says, I love it, but I need to use it better. Joe says, a very clunky one. I want to learn all about it. Sue says, I looked at it, couldn't work out how to use it. Me either, Sue. When I first looked at it, I was like, oh no. So luckily, I have a wonderful team member who I said to, I can't do this. Can you figure it out? And then help me. And that's exactly what happened. And I've just got better and better and better at it. And now I'm using it every single day. Charmaine says, looked at it, but that's all I've been using, Trello. So wait till you check this out. So firstly, it is a cloud collaboration service. Hold on, I'm just going to change my view on Zoom. That's much better. It's a cloud collaboration service. It's a spreadsheet database hybrid with features of a database, but applied to a spreadsheet. Pretty clever, really. Almost similar to cells in a spreadsheet, but you can have types such as a checkbox or a phone number or a drop-down list, and you can reference file attachments, which is amazing. Users can create a database. You can set up your column types. You can add records, link tables to one another, collaborate, and publish views to external websites. Julie says, I'm using it a bit as Kylie has set it up and it seems to be working well. Yay. Brenda says, I've created a couple of databases, need to learn more. Brenda has done an amazing thing with one of her team members while they've been building her website, which has been a fantastic way to look at the process that needs to be done for each product, for example, and then what stage of the process that they're up to. And it's just amazing to see how Brenda's been using it, as well as other ways that you're using it too, isn't that right, Brenda? Can you tell me what was the other one that has been really good for you?
I set up a procedure from when I get a job right through to the completion of the job, all the steps along the way.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I was very impressed when I saw it. So yeah, very clever system. So if you think about the onboarding of your clients or the process for your customers, or maybe it's the way, what happens to them once they've liked your page or signed up to your group or given you their email address, what journey do you take them on? So it's a wonderful way to look at your client's journey or your own process journey. So it's time to upskill and grow. Unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered, you will never grow. So congrats on being here and being lifelong learners. So how is Airtable different to a spreadsheet? Is there anybody here that already uses spreadsheets and actually enjoys spreadsheets? And when I say spreadsheets, I'm talking like Excel or Google Sheets. Is there anybody that uses those? Because I have been using Excel for as long as I've been using a computer, I think. And I'm pretty good at it, but there's always more to know with that. Excuse me. And I definitely think there's a place for them. I don't think we will ever replace Airtable 100%. Maybe we will. But I definitely find that the way that Airtable is set up for me has so many more options with it. Jackie says, I love spreadsheets. Actually, Merlin or Honey, can you let us know in the chat? Because I don't think I ever thought about this, but can you export out of a spreadsheet and then import it into Airtable? So you could actually transition over if you wanted to with what you've already got. That would be good to know. And he says yes. So Merlin said, oh, they both said yes to me. So that's awesome, guys. So if you like using a bit of Airtable action and want to get more of it happening, then you can export that out and try it that way. So I'll find out a bit more about that and get back to you, because that is very exciting. We might make a Loom video of that or a Berrycast video of that and share that in the Hello Media Facebook group. Okay, so the first thing is Airtable's super easy to use. Now, I know a couple of people have said it hasn't been super easy to use straight off the bat. I agree. I didn't find it super easy at the beginning, but the more and more I use it, I literally cannot believe how super easy it is. It's visually appealing because it's just so clear. I love that you can color things and all of that. That really appeals to me. There's more features than in a spreadsheet. For example, you can link records, that you can create blocks, etc. It allows you to put multiple types of data in the form of attachments, so images, videos, files, etc., which is why we use it for our entire social media strategy. And everything that we do in social media going forward every week is all sitting in there ready to go. Really, really, really good way to be able to create evergreen content using it that way too. Also, you can store records and keep everything highly organized. And we're going to talk about the view system very, very shortly, which is amazing. Charmaine, I have many spreadsheets, but I would love to combine them all into one functional space. And that's exactly what we've done with Airtable. And when you see what ours looks like, you're going to be like, oh, that's so good. So let's take a little look at what's inside Airtable. So there's a workspace, and when you open your Airtable, you can see all the workspaces for which you are a collaborator on. For some of you, it might just be you working on your own, and then there'd be no collaboration spaces, but your stuff will just sit in there. But it's just similar to Canva, where you've got all your own files, but then you've got your shared files. So it's the same with this in Airtable. And you can create as many workspaces as you'd like for free, and each one has its own set of workspace collaborators and bases. Actually, Merlin, would you mind putting into the chat the link for everyone, for those that haven't started with Airtable, then they can get the link from us, which stupidly, for whatever reason, keeps giving us money on our Airtable account, but we're never going to use it because we never really are that interested in upgrading. We've been using the free one the whole time. So there's just money. It's not really money, is it? It's just like points in a way that sits there. But yeah, I'd love to know too in the chat if anybody's using the paid version, because we've looked at it and it's honestly, the free one is that good. I'm not sure why you would. So looking still at what's inside Airtable, when we look at the workspace, it's a collection of bases that are shared among a team of people. So you can see here, we're on the free plan. You can see who we're sharing that with. So it's the different members of the Hello Media team. Well, this is the section called Hello Media. We have many sections under that. And there we've got our social media strategy. We've got all the stuff for the team. We've got all the information about our clients, all the different programs and courses and things that we teach, our webinars, honestly, just so many things. It's just unbelievable. Even our reviews and things that are there, the quotes that we're using that we want to use for social media, etc. Just lots and lots and lots in there. But you can see it here. Oh, thank you for putting that in there, Merlin. Great. On the left-hand side, here you go. It says I've got $20 in credit. I think it's more like 200. It's just crazy. Anyway, it says, or maybe it actually expires. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so over here, you can see that our workspaces are the Hello Media, which is this one right here. Then underneath that, which you can't see at the moment, is our Hello Media admin. Then we've got all the things for the meetup group, which is Positive Passionate Businesswomen. Then we've got all the different types of clients and things, Hello Media workshops and masterclasses. And under here is the bases shared with me section. And that's the one, if ever I've sent you guys anything in the Airtable, that's where it sits until you duplicate and make it your own. And then what I really like is just because I'm not working with a client anymore that had their own base, or we've worked on a project that we don't need to do anymore, I don't have to delete it. I can just archive it and put it in this section down here, which I find really handy. Oh, and also, you'll notice along the top, it says there's bases, which is the section we're in right now, but there's also templates, which I have barely even explored. There's just so many, it's unbelievable. So definitely worth having a look and having a little play around too. So you can use it as a CRM, etc. I'm so croaky. It's been going on since early this morning, and I don't know why. So excuse me for all my. So when you want to collaborate with people, so that means that these are the following people who can access, edit, and make changes to all the bases under the workspace in which they are a collaborator. So one of the issues is that if you want to give a base to somebody, but they actually you don't need to share it with them, but you want to give it to them when you've set it up. The problem is, unless they duplicate it, then what will happen on your base is it will be all changed, and you don't want that. So make sure that they duplicate it straight away. And you can see who else is working on those. Just have some water. So what's inside it? The base, you can find it inside a workspace. All the information that you need for a specific project or content are stored inside these bases. And isn't it lovely that it can all be color coordinated? That appeals to me big time. So when you open up a base, That is short for database. It contains all of the information that you need for one project or for multiple projects or for a workflow. A base can be a daily sales or a social media content calendar, an event directory, or really, honestly, anything that you can possibly imagine. And I'm just whizzing through these because I'm going to take you into our Airtable and show you how it is that we're using them. But you'll see here, this here is a base, and we're sitting here in grid view, which I'm going to talk to you about at the moment. And you'll see along the top, there's all these tabs. So we've got here the social media calendar. The next one is Instagram stories, our social growth tracking, all the things that we're putting in for the Hello Media Facebook group on Friday mornings, the Hello Media blog posts, the Hello Media group member requests, and you can just keep adding and adding and adding tabs as much as you like to in that section. So that means you're only working one base. You've not got multiple bases all the time. So views are specific to each individual table in your base. You can use views to show only specific fields or records, and you can apply other configurations to manage the information in that view. The view sidebar helps navigate all of the views in a table. So you see this down here, that is the view sidebar, and you can choose what it is that you're looking at that point. Jackie says, is archive a base that you added? Yes, it's a base that I was working on. Say, for example, when we moved on from doing social media management for clients in the way that we were doing it, we then didn't want to delete all this stuff, so we archived them instead. So they're still sitting there because those clients might want to you see those in the future or use them in the future or something, and we just don't want to delete them because that's a whole lot of work, and it's great evergreen content and all that other kind of stuff. In fact, a client we stopped working with probably 3 or 4 months ago, for the first time ever, just started looking at her base the other day. So you just never know when people are feeling ready to get stuck into it and want to have a play. So archiving it is a really good option there. So the different views that you could choose are the grid view, calendar view, gallery view, form view, and Kanban view. So this is the grid view, and this is the view that I use. I know that Hannah uses this view too, and I'm not sure about Merlin. What's your favorite view, Merlin? Let us know in the chat. So you'll notice here it says find a view, and you can choose down the left-hand side which view you want to use. So grid view is the way I look at it, excuse me, and it's probably the most like Excel for how that looks. But you'll notice that we can color code things. We can change it up as much as we want to. Let me just have a quick little lozenge. Grid view, says Merlin. Okay, so all three of us are using grid view. It'd be very interesting to know if anybody else is using the other views. Okay, this one here is the calendar view. I'm not using this view probably because my calendar is what I live by, my GCal. You can sync it to your Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, or Outlook, which is a great thing. But for our instance, I don't need to do it that way. Okay, the next one is gallery view. If our Airtable's bases weren't so massive, maybe I would use gallery view, but we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things in them. So I feel like gallery view, I just wouldn't be able to see it all. But it's still a useful thing that we go into sometimes when we're changing things up. This is form view. Now, form is kind of interesting, but not something that I ever needed to use, but then you can share your form, etc. As I said, haven't needed to use it yet, so it'll be interesting to see if there comes a time, and then that would probably be a damn good thing. I think people that use Airtable as a CRM would be using this in quite a big way. This is the Kanban view. So this is probably the next good one to grid, where you can see a whole lot of things all at once, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to take you in there soon and show much. Brenda says, did I do too much talking over the weekend? Yes. Actually, I think, I'm not even sure because I didn't do that much talking. I've been away, probably more than usual though. So I've been away at a business retreat. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was 7 hours late on Friday. That's not a little bit of late. That's not 7 minutes. It was 7 hours. It was shocking. But I had so much going on, one thing after another. Finally made it, and then 2 amazing big days. of learning. And there was a fair bit of talking, but it was mostly listening. But Brenda, maybe I did talk too much. I certainly didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked, that's for sure. But it was amazing learning, I have to say. It was definitely exactly what I needed right now. I just said in my newsletter that it was such a good time for me to step away and work on my business, not just in my business, because I've been restructuring for a while and getting ready to launch a whole new way of running my business. And being able to sit back and work on that was really fantastic, because as we all know, we can get quite bogged down about being in the business and not having that chance to step away. So I definitely highly recommend it for everyone. Okay, the terminology, which is probably where I struggled with the most in the very beginning. So a spreadsheet is equal to a base. So each spreadsheet is organized into its own spreadsheet file, and an Airtable, each spreadsheet will become its own base. So you won't use the word spreadsheet anymore, you'll just use the word base. So tabs, for example, with tables, so spreadsheets contain tabs for different data sets, but in Airtable, each type of data is organized into its own table. Columns and fields, so spreadsheets contain columns of data, whereas in Airtable, those are called fields, and there are dozens of field types to add formatting to your data. That's probably my favorite thing about Airtable. And rows equals records, so spreadsheets contain rows of information. In Airtable, those are called records. It's funny, isn't it? And I'm not sure why they did that, because it would be just much easier to use the terminology that we already know. Okay, so what can you do with grid views? So this is our favorite one. It's the default type of view when you first create your base. It displays your records as rows and your fields as columns in a grid. This is particularly helpful when you want to add new information to a table or copy and paste information from a traditional spreadsheet program. In grid view, you can group records, change the row height, and freeze as many fields as you like. Joe says copyright, question mark. Do you know what? I thought that too, but then I thought I'm pretty sure Google Sheets uses the same terminology. So I think all spreadsheets do. So maybe they've chosen not to use it because they don't want to be thought of as a spreadsheet, perhaps. I agree, it is weird. So maybe because they're trying to stay on brand with a very different style of thing. So more about project management, etc., rather than just spreadsheets. Who knows? So the main points of Airtable are that the views lets you customize how information is displayed in a table. All the underlying information is the same, but how and what is shown can differ. Filters allow you to hide certain records from a view depending on values in their fields. And you can also choose to show or hide specific fields, which allows you to focus on a smaller subset of relevant fields without changing or deleting any of the underlying data. The order in which records appear is also specific to a view. You can manually rearrange records, or you can apply a sort so that your records appear in a particular order according to the values in specific fields. And you can make as many views as you'd like and switch back and forth between them depending on what you want to see and when. So how you get started. So we've already put the link in the chat for you. Thank you, Merlin. So that's how, that's how you get started. If you don't have an Airtable account yet, you can opt to create an account using that link before you copy the data. And if you already have one, then you can just copy the data on the top right and select which workspace would you like to save the social media management template base, for example, which I will show you in a moment. If you have different workspaces like ours, then you can just click on the drop-down arrow and choose the specific workspace or base, then click Create Table. See down there, Hello Media Workspace, and the base is Hello Media Social Media, and then click on Create Table. So I'm about to take you in there live in a moment, so I'll just finish up this little bit here before we go in and share my screen over to our Airtable. So in summary, if you're in the beginning phase of Airtable, take time to read the learning and resources section. Number 2, explore and try out some templates if you're not comfortable starting from scratch yet. Number 3, no rush. Take your time and you'll definitely learn more tips and tricks as you go. Number 4, there are loads of YouTube videos on how you can use some of the features. And number 5 is use Airtable on a daily basis so you can get more familiar with it. That's what I did, and I absolutely love it. So the key to achieving success is by creating a strong and stable management system. For us, this is 100% our management system. As I said, we're all in it daily. It's absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to show you ours. So just a little reminder to jump into the Facebook group, the Hello Media Facebook group, that is. It'll be in the chat in just a moment. And make sure that you've gone onto this follow ladder. And if you haven't been there for a while, jump into the comments and see who's new in the group, who you could welcome in and who you could follow and tell them about your business, for example. So make sure that that's something that you look at least once a month and spend some time in there, because it's a beautiful way to grow organically. So going forward, get stuck into learning new tools today, get stuck into learning Airtable. And the big question is, will you? Yes, of course, that's a yes, because you're going to love it as much as we do. So it's time to share more, show the world what you stand for, be more purpose-driven, more human, more imperfect, and more real. Get out there. Oh, so this is a reminder too for me to tell you about the one-day masterclass. So there are only 5 spots in total, and I think there are 2 spots left. So, or maybe it was I can't remember. Anyway, there's definitely a couple of spots left. What this means is that we said at the beginning, because of all that hoo-ha that's going on with Facebook and all these pages being shut down, and it doesn't look like that's going to stop at all, because there's no way that Facebook will back down to the Australian government. Because if they do, all that means is that then every other country will come at them and have the same issue going on. So it's very clear that they won't be doing that. So the most important thing we need to be working on is growing our email database. So this masterclass is called Lead Generation and Contents. So I give you templates and all the resources, and we start at the beginning of the day and we create in Canva your lead magnet. So whether it is using my template or your own one, and then we go through the whole process of all the things that you're offering and putting it out there. Then we go through, where are you going to post it? Where are you going to use it? And what are you going to do once you get those email addresses? So that's what we want to always be working on, is how to build up our email database. And there's no better way than with a lead magnet. You can use your lead magnet on social media. You can use your lead magnet on your pop-up on your website, for example. You can use it in Facebook groups. It's something you can use endlessly. Sally, hello, your hair looks beautiful. Okay, so that's that there. The link will be in the, it is in the chat. Thank you very much. It's discounted down to $5.59. If you are a Positive Passionate Women in Business member, then you get 25% off that price. If you are a group coaching client, you get 30% off, and a one-on-one coaching client, you get 50% off. So if you're not sure about what your discount code is, just send a message to Merlin and she will let you know. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, because that will be a game changer. Okay, so next Monday, the digital marketing webinar subject is unknown. No, it's not unknown. I was just realized, I haven't discussed that with the team yet. But the topic is going to be Google My Business. So if you have not set up your Google My Business and really optimized it, now is the time. Or if you need to be a bit more confident with it, now is the time. So join us on Monday, and you know that you can just scan that QR code by opening up your camera, or you can use the link that'll be in the chat in a moment. Remember, that is Google My Business. And for those of you that may not have a website yet, set up your Google My Business website, because, and even if you haven't, if you've already got your own website, also make sure you set up your Google My Business website. Joe, I was just thinking for you with the social media management, setting up a Google My Business website right now would be a brilliant way to get a little visible with that. Okay, next is bite-sized conversations. This Friday with Jenny, 9:15 a.m. New South Wales time, we are talking about entrepreneurship. So if you'd like to join us for that, please do. So with Jenny, it's always half an hour, and every second week is a digital marketing topic. Every other week is a business topic. So this week it's business and it's entrepreneurship. So jump in and join us for that if you want to, and have the opportunity to ask your questions. So if you love what you're doing, you will achieve what you are aiming for. I love that quote. And if you want to find out how you can get more sales and grow your business, you're always welcome to book a discovery call. So Yes, Joe, just about you. That's right. So the link to book a discovery call will be in the chat, and I always do love to have a chat. So maybe that's why I've lost my voice, Brenda. It's too much love of the chat. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is stop the presentation and move into Airtable. But I'm going to do less. I'm going to actually close it. And I'm going to go plus, and I'm going to go Airtable and open it up here so that you can see. All right, as you can recognize from some of those screenshots that you saw in the presentation, this here is where we're sitting in the Hello Media space. So the top bit is what you saw before. Then we go down, we've got admin section in there. We've got the positive, passionate businesswoman, the one-on-one coaching, the group coaching, social media management, masterclass stuff, bases that are shared with me. And then these are the things down the bottom that are archived. But what I thought that might be really helpful is that if I showed you our social media strategy, for example. So if we open that up, you'll see it's quite heavy. There's a lot going on in there. So week of Feb, excuse me, Feb 22, that's what's coming up here. But I'm going to show you last week because it's big and it's fat and it's all tells you down here what was posted, et cetera, where the links were and all of that kind of thing. So you'll see that on the left hand, here's the week first for starters. Then down the left-hand side, we have all the different topics that are repeated. So, for example, Monday motivation, a post about this week's webinar, the Hello You interviews, which are part of the Positive Passionate Businesswoman thing, Top Tip Tuesday, Love Notes, which is sharing our testimonials and reviews, shout outs to our one-on-one or our group coaching clients, talking about our podcast. This blog is because I keep forgetting to publish the blogs and making them live, but we always do a link over to the blog, for example. So let's have a little look about how that works and how it works. So obviously there's the week beginning of, then we've got the day and the time. In fact, I'll just show you, if I wanted to change that over, then I would, oopsie, hold on just a moment. I need to click on here, customize field type, and I change it to be European date order. So obviously then it's the 22nd of the 2nd, not the other way around. So that's also in there. So you can see that was for the 15th of Feb, the 18th of Feb, etc. Then in there are the times where we post those different things. So over here, it tells you that this Hello Friends happens in the Facebook group only and nowhere else. And here it is. What is your most treasured gift? Who gave it to you? So at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning, it goes into the Hello Media Facebook groups. There's no need for hashtags in there. There's no picture. And if I've had a little look at it, then we tick on approve and it's been posted. And in there, you can see that's the link to where it was. Now, the good thing about that is that means if we have posts that were fantastic, we want to use over and over and over, then we can just literally copy this whole line and put it into another week, which is great. Let me show you an example though of where we use it in other places. So this one here is for Monday motivation, 6:30 on a Monday. It's scheduled in Creator Studio, but it goes to the Facebook page, to LinkedIn, to Instagram. And this is the quote here. You can see that that's been popped in. These here are the hashtags that we would be using. So there's the Facebook and linked ones. There's the Instagram hashtags. And you'll see you can even upload the graphic. So there is the graphic. It was created in Canva, and then it gets put up here into Airtable. And then when it gets posted, that's the link for Facebook, that's the link for Instagram, and yes, it was posted to LinkedIn. There's also another scenario where it's also going to Google My Business, for example. So you'll notice that we don't have Pinterest or Twitter in here, which we need to. So anyway, we're always just working at improving, etc., and making it more manageable what we do. So over here, this you can see that the shout out was that we just write in there who it's going to be for that week, for example, who's going to get the shout out. So you can see it's really, really, really clear to see what's going on. But now I want to show you if we wanted to look at the different views. So we're in grid view. If we click onto calendar view, that might suit you more, and you can see it like that. So yeah, that's definitely something that you could do. For me personally, I like the grid view, the gallery view, and that's a very, very popular view as well. And then that Kanban, that one there is a very easy way of doing it too. For our purpose though, as I said before, that's what Merlin and Honey are using, as well as that grid view that I use. So what about if we were to click over to Instagram stories? We haven't used this one in ages because we just have it going on in the other one, but it was a great way to have that going on too. But look how good this is, putting your social growth tracking in. So we've got the dates, we've got where the Facebook started, we've got where the Facebook's at now. So not just followers, but likes, reach, all what's going on Instagram, you know, the whole thing. And it's fantastic. And it's a really easy way to clearly see what is going on. There's, of course, our questions that we ask in the Facebook group. Here's blog posts sitting there, where we're up to, etc. As I've said before, I'm a little behind on that one. But actually, that's not entirely true. It's just that we've been putting them in another section. So, and then people that are asking to join the group, we've just started this on Friday, I think it was, because Honey does the approval in that Facebook group, but only if they've answered all 3 questions to come in. And if not, then she's putting the information in there and we can decide what to do from there. So one other thing I want to show you, which is just fantastic, which is this one here, the magic PDFs, which are our lead magnets that we're working on Wednesday, for example. So if you look here, we've got the magic PDFs that are ready to go, otherwise known as lead magnet. I've written the captions and they sit here like, oh, sorry, I was trying to do something that I couldn't do because I was in the wrong section. So this here is the name of them. Of course, it's not going to expand because it's just a name. So if we look at this one that's called Magic PDF Core Systems and Tools for Simplifying Its Structure in Your Business. When we look here, this is the caption that I've written. So you can see that sitting there like that, ready to go. And it says hashtag offer, but you could or couldn't, you don't have to use it. Then you'll see that's the picture that then Honey would then go and post into groups or on our page or wherever it is that we're going to be putting our lead magnet out. This one here says that was me. I wrote ready to post. So we've changed whatever it is that we need this to say. So to finish, ready to post, published, etc., etc. Then if you click on that, you'll see that's a Canva link. So when you click the Canva link, it opens a new tab and it shows you that is our lead magnet sitting there ready to go. So at that point, all that needs to happen is that you download it as a PDF and use it in the way that you need to. Okay, so then we've got hashtags that we would want to use around that, and we've got the date that it has been updated. But then when you go and have a little look in here, we've got another little tab that shows you where it is that we're posting it, on what days, etc. And then what happened. So 8 comments, 4 reactions, 11 comments, 4 reactions. This one was 1 reaction. That tells us we're not going to post it into that group anymore, for example. And then over here on the left-hand side, we've got all the Facebook groups that we're in. And then we've got ticks next to the one that we're actively posting into. So all of these are ways of us getting email addresses. And I remind you, why do we want to do that? Because we don't own our socials. The only thing that we own is our email list and our website. And given all the palaver of what's been going on just since Thursday with the Australian government and all the drama, then it's a really, really important thing to be working on growing your email list. So going back to my base here, and you'll notice, well, you might have not noticed because I didn't make changes, but I never once had to press save on anything. It's literally just done, which is amazing. And if I wanted to share something, so for example, what if I shared Facebook groups, for example, then I'm going to click on this. I can duplicate it. I can give it a different color. I can give it a different symbol. I could move it into a different workspace, or I could delete it, of course. But as I said before, I generally tend to archive them. But by duplicating it, I'll show you what happens there. Then I will go duplicate base, and then I could share that base. So lots and lots and lots and lots of different ways. If I wanted to share this entire thing, I could do that here, and particularly by a link, which is really, really simple. Oh, yay. Merlin said she created a sample coaching form in Form View, the same as the coaching form that we did for the coaching clients using Google Form. Awesome. So I'm just going to try that and see that. Thanks for that, Merlin. That's awesome. Check this out. Perfect. Thank you. So with our one-on-one coaching clients, every week they receive something from Merlin, which is just asking them to update. What have they done this week? What did they find hard? What did they find good? And what do they want to work up for their next session? So it just helps them prepare for what we're going to do. And it helps me know in advance what we're going to work on. So Merlin has just said that this little section here, she has done that. So we could put in the Hello Media logo, for example. We could put in the client name, or they would put in their own because we would share it. And then all of these different little things and then submit. So that's really interesting. And Merlin, am I correct that that's a brand new section? Because I have a feeling it is, because I haven't seen this before, or maybe it's just because I haven't been looking before. But I personally have not seen that. So that's pretty cool. So thank you for that. That's a great way to use it. And of course, doesn't have to just be a logo. It could be some nice branding on there, etc. So now I want to ask if anybody has any questions, and I will stop the share. Has that been useful and helpful, or does it make you more overwhelmed with it? Yes, Jackie. Joe, I'm so sorry that you're overwhelmed with it. It is big. I know. I truly understand. I felt completely overwhelmed with it myself to begin with.
I thought I was doing great with Airtable, and you were the one who first introduced it to me. But you've just opened my mind to all the other possibilities that it has.
Was it you who said in the chat before that you really love
spreadsheets? I do.
Yeah. So maybe your brain's already going, yes, yes, loving that. Whereas for me, I can use spreadsheets. I need to, obviously, in certain areas, but I've never loved them. Yeah. So I think maybe it just took me that little bit longer to get really stuck into it. But now I'm in it. Oh, I really, really,
you
really
can put so much more information into each little
yes.
cell, you know,
yes.
like how could you put all that in a spreadsheet, all the written stuff that you're going to say and all that sort of thing.
But also the drop downs and the checklists and, you know, tick for approval.
Yes, I love that.
Ready to go, etc.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah, I love cinematics.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you use it for, Jackie?
Oh, my social media scheduling. I think you did a class on it or something.
Yeah, the strategy masterclass.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And I've just, you know, it took me a few days to get my head around it. And then I think I had to ask you a few more questions. And then it was like, oh, this is gold. I don't know where I'd be otherwise. Well, I'd be on a spreadsheet, but then I'd have my photos somewhere and I'd have my words somewhere else. And just being able to put them all together is insane.
Also being able to put links in there, like you could see that you can just click on that Canva link and then boom, it's opened up in a new tab.
Yeah.
Like it's gold. It's a very easy way to keep things contained.
Yeah, and I put in links if I'm going to put links in the comments, you know, to remember which, you know, what I'm putting in and all that sort of thing.
Yes, absolutely. So good. So we, in our to-do one on Airtable, we have, in fact, I'll just share with you there because it's so good. If I click on here and go team to do and for approval. So down we've got under honey, we've got under Merlin, what different things, and then they're marked as this is what the team set up. And then there's the link to all the things, and then there's whether they're urgent or medium, etc. And you can see that there's only one thing that I've ticked. The rest of it I've still got to go through. But this is a daily thing. So as soon as I get my first break on a Monday, I jump in here and get it done. If I haven't dealt with the urgents by Friday, I generally try to jump in there and get stuck into it. And then you'll notice over here, we have our agenda of all the things that we need to be working on at the moment. And down here, you'll see if there's a yes. So that means that we need to have a meeting, that when we have our, you know, weekly team meetings or twice weekly team meetings on Zoom, that these things need to be discussed. The rest of the things don't need to be discussed because it's all explanatory, self-explanatory. And also you'll notice over here, we can move it from in progress to do, to done, etc. Dates, but then there's remarks from me, Merlin and Honey's notes, etc. Like it's honestly just, that's the task. There's attachments if they need to, but mostly we just need the links in there, etc. So very, very good. We've put in some processes. So for example, what to do with the masterclass, what to do with the glossary, all that kind of stuff. These are things looking at needing a sort of urgent review. And then I just did this little wee one, which is my own to do, because even though I have notebooks and notebooks, these ones sitting in there, and I then choose whether they're low, urgent, medium, etc., and where I'm at with that, etc. And then check this out, I can tag someone. So this is me tagging Honey. So when I do that and I'll say, check this out, then she immediately will get a notification that she has been tagged in that section. So that's pretty extraordinary, isn't it? I don't actually need to then send her a link in Messenger and go, oi, blah, 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 check this out. Like it's just dealt with in there, which is awesome. And then when it's finished, I can go, yay, finished. Or I could also add another one of those in there as well. So yeah, I try and have this small. I try and delete them the minute that they're done. So even though I've said done here, but I've still got to do a little bit more before the whole onboarding of the new bookkeeper and accountant are finished. So I'd like to delete it, but I can't quite yet. So what do you think about that, Jackie?
Amazing.
I know.
Open my mind even more. Like actually to have a to-do list. I would never have thought of that. I tend to like take something that is how it's suggested and just work with that without opening my mind to all the other until someone points it out, of course.
Oh, what I forgot to show you was the templates, which, as I said, I've barely even looked at them, but check this out. And definitely for you, Jackie, I think a CRM in here could be fantastic. So a record of who's bought from you and, you know, if they're repeat buyers and all of that. So you can go in here and look at all kinds of different things. But if we type in, for example, CRM, business development CRM, sales CRM, PR firm CRM, fundraising CRM, so many different things. So customer development, if we open up that one and have a little look and click on use the template, do we want it to go into the workspace of Hello Media? So I'll just stick it up in there now just while we put it in, then I'll delete it. So you guys aren't having to set up these bases because it's just done. It's automatically made purple, but obviously I can change that to be purple, whatever color I want. Let's change it to that color. Oh no, that's on the Pro plan. There you go. That's the only thing I've found that I might do that I can't do on the free, which is whatever, because there's plenty of other colors. Pardon?
Why would you want light colors?
Yeah.
Bold and noticeable.
So you can see in here that we've got the name, the email, what it is that they want to be. So this says founder, manager, business development engineer, blah, 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 blah. The usage type, the interview sessions, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, for you, you would do that, what they purchased, when they purchased, and keep some kind of whole system about that. And then you'd know, you could even put in there when you've followed up with an email. Have you offered them a discount code to come back for a second purchase? Yeah. Have you, you know, there's all kinds of things. If they unsubscribed from your MailChimp, for example, you might want to send them something in Gmail, you know, and just say, hey, we have unsubscribed. You probably were hearing from us too much or not hearing what you wanted to, but just wanted to let you know that the new Kindle, blah, 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 you know, just that kind of a thing. So, but, you know, then it's way more personal. So yeah, lots of things going on with that and with those templates. And as I said, I haven't even spent the time in there, but digital video production, my goodness, so many. Oh yeah, that's a cool one. Look at that. I'll put it back into Hello Media main again, go add base. And sitting there like that. And notice it made itself the same color as the last one that I did. That's what it does. I get rid of this stuff here because we don't need that. So I just go, oh, I just went to rename it, but I meant to delete it. And let's just get rid of that. Okay, so see over here, we've got the video name. We've got the brand series. Obviously, they've made those themselves and choose it as they want. There's the thumbnail of the video that they're going to use. So, you know, when you load up into YouTube, you need to choose a thumbnail. So there's their thumbnail. There's the release date and time, who's the project lead on it, what stage it's up to. So watch this one here. So instead of it being a drop down that you choose from, this one here is that you can say, we're also at researching and we're in edit, or we've also shot it, etc., etc. Format is this, and you can keep adding to that as well. And platform is on a website, but you can do a drop down and choose. And then production notes, length time, and then where things are up to. Look at that. It's it's amazing and very, very, very clever. And what they might have, even though I can't see, is that they might then have a link to it once it's actually up. Oh, there you go, the live URL. At the moment, it's just got example.com, but that would be, you know, the YouTube link where you'd see it. So very, very clever like that. And they've got staff directory along the top, agencies. This is where we keep all our staff information, even people's birthdays and their children's birthdays and all that kind of stuff. Scenes, shot, locations. Oh, I used to have a film production business, and can I just say how good this would have been if we had that. Wow. Okay, I'm going to stop my share now. I've showed you some templates. Any questions, guys?
No, Carlos, that's fantastic. I think the more I look at it, the more comfortable I'm playing with it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, it's so overwhelming. But the more you see it, it's like, oh, okay, that's really doable.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, I'm going to show you one more thing that I'd like to give you if you want to have it. But before we do, let's just have a quick photo. So put your cameras on and let's have a little. Oh, and remember your special thing if you've got one. Like Brenda, like Charmaine, like Joe. I love it. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Hi. Okay, let's screen share and I'll show you this. Oh, I think it's in Canva. Let's see if I can find it. Which should be just under the name Airtable. Oops, I should have just gone right there. So not those, not that. Boop, 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 boop. No, I can't see it, but if I find it, if you want some instructions on Airtable, let me know because we can send that through to you. So just say yes, instructions, please, in the chat. And unless the girls can send me a link to it and I can pull it up to show you. Wait and see on that. Okay, any questions?
Yes, sorry, I've got to
go, Jackie.
Actually, talking about emails and getting emails, which I actually had written down to ask you today. Because I've got a product, not something that that I want to sort of do a giveaway for, and I suddenly thought, do I ask them to put their email in the comments, or what's the sort of right way of going about actually getting that email, like with the offer? So with the lead magnet.
With a lead magnet,
yeah.
So you never ever ask them to. So you do like go and have a little look at my story pitch.
Yeah.
One on Facebook. So it's permanently sitting there on the Hello Media Facebook page. Long may that last, because I keep getting messages from people saying, is your page still operating? You know, it's highly likely it'll be shut down with media palaver. So let's hope not. So hello, thank you for still being here, Paige. So I'm just going to click on view as visitor. The very first post, because it is the pinned post, is sitting there like this. It is a story pitch style, which all of my lead magnets are, which talks about who I was when I was in the midst of, you know, struggles or chaos or whatever, or what was hard. Then I talk about what I did to how I overcame that. Then I talk about how I can help you also overcome it. And then I say, if you want to know more about that, type yes, or, you know, in whatever way I'm doing it. So make sure, guys, that you come and find this post and say yes, please, in the comment, because then then you'll see what happens in our process. So you'll notice that we always say, no matter what, you always must reply and say, we've sent you a PM. So tag them. Yeah. So yes, please, in a media brain, we say thanks, tag Sally. I sent you a PM. The reason is that number one, you always must respond because it sends it back up in the algorithm. Number two, because if we were not friends on Facebook, she wouldn't actually see my post, my message necessarily. It could go in the others folder. So by saying that, she knows what she needs to go and look for. So the graphic that we've created matches the front of the lead magnet. So then we send them a PM and we say, hey, so glad you want the blah, 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 blah. Just share your email address and we'll get it right to you. And then they share their email address and boom, we've got the email address and we just share it with them in Messenger as a PDF.
See, because I've got a product, it's like, can I have your email address and your postal address, please? And it's like, why are you asking for my email address? I would imagine.
You mean for the people that are buying?
Well, yeah, if I have an offer like, you know, I've got like a Barbie necklace to give away, like a giveaway sort of thing. But what I'm after is their emails.
But if you go in the draw, if people have to go in the draw,
yeah,
then, you know, so send me a PM with your email address and you've gone in the draw.
And then I'll email the winner, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That's what I needed, that connection.
No worries. Any other questions?
I think I'd like to get in and have a little play around, but I'm sure there'd be plenty of questions. But the instructions would be great, thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
And if you have got questions, just put them in the Hello Media Facebook group.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Cool.
No, I might try some templates and see.
Yeah, yay. Merlin and Honey use it even way more than I do. So they'll be able to answer you and share their knowledge on it as well.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks. Anybody else? Great. So Charmaine says, I am hopeful. I feel frustrated not to have everything in one place. Me too, Charmaine. So by having it all in there, it has just made such a difference. It's amazing. Excuse me. So guys, let me know in the chat. What was your biggest aha moment from today? Was it that it can do so much more than you even realized? Was it that you actually realize now that there's a certain way that you can use it in your business that you didn't know before, for example? Great. Casey's going to share it with her VA to be using. Brilliant. Yep, the social media calendar is amazing. Just give it a go and use it. Good, Sally. So much more. Yay, Jackie. Yeah, I'm super excited for you to use it more. Like when Brenda just suddenly said to me, Brenda, would you mind? And it's okay, you can just tell me secretly in the chat. But I just wondered if I might show the one that we're doing with Ray and you and me, and then they can see how we're using it. Is that cool with you?
Yep.
Thanks. Because it really is very, very clever how we're operating that. So here we go. Base is shared with me. So Brenda has created this and then shared it with me so that I can update it, she can update it, and Ray can update it. So you'll see here we've got the process. So this is, for example, how to name images and load images up, for example, all the things that need to be done, and then the notes about it, and then the links to them. We've got where everybody is up to in terms of loading up of the products, the end of session summary for what Ray's up to, end of session summary for Brenda, end of session summary for Kylie, and then we even added blog ideas the other day as they were coming to mind. This is a good thing that we can be talking about down the track. So you can see how clever that is, and how when I have a session with Brenda, I can just jump on here and I can go, this is where Ray's up to. Oh, that's looking great. Oh, Brenda, I can see you just did blah, 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 blah. And then Brenda's making this herself and saying, okay, that's no longer in progress. That's now done, for example. So really, really good. So thanks for sharing that, Brenda, because I think that's a fantastic way of using it. For those of you starting with, like, in fact, for you, Jackie, joining us in the Grow Your Website Masterclass, this is a fantastic thing for you to do to start with, like even now, so that when you come in and you're ready to start the masterclass, you've got all your product images, you've got all of your product content, you've got all the things, not necessarily finished, but at various stages of where they're up to, so that when you're ready to go with the website, boom, you're off to go. I mean, you're ready to go is what I should say. Cool. How secure is Airtable with your personal information? Fascinating question, Julie. So I can't answer that because I actually have no idea, but let me find out. Excuse me, and get back to you on that, because Because that's a very good,
JB's order today.
a very good question. I just noticed too that Merlin has sent me that, what we're going to share with you, and we'll send it out. So getting started with Airtable, where to sign up for it, what's a workspace, what's a base, how to make a base, use an Airtable template, use an Airtable template again, import a CSV file and turn it into a base, find a base from scratch, build a base from scratch, customizing your database, naming tables and things. So this is like a very, very, very beginner stage, like the very, very beginner. So if you think that that would be helpful, we can absolutely send that to you. Oh, was I sharing my screen? Oh,
No.
dear me. All right, this is it here. So I'll just squish through since I've already told you. But yeah, it's for the absolute beginners of Airtable, for how to duplicate, how to create, how to color it, how to start your first cell, etc. So if that is helpful, I would love to send that to you guys. Okay, guys, it has been a treat. And excuse me, make sure you click the 3 dots and download, save the chat so that you can connect with people outside of the Zoom session. You're welcome, Christine. It's lovely to see your happy face again. And yeah, if you want to join me on Wednesday, that would be so rad, because as I've said, probably this will be the 4th time today, you must be growing your email database at any point, just like the poor tragic people that have just lost theirs over the last few days, of which there's not just hundreds but thousands of people whose pages have been shut down. How would you connect with those people and your audience and all that time you've spent into growing it if you didn't have that already set up in growing your email database? So you're welcome, Sally.
Hi, Lee.
Yes.
Would you mind, can I just ask a quick question? I saw that one of our members, the members from your group, was having some trouble yesterday connecting with a person in their Facebook group, and that made me start thinking about my Facebook group. I just started one through my Facebook page for the business. But looking at the issues they were having, I thought it might be better to actually make my group through my personal page so that I could add my friends.
Yes. So I haven't had a chance to look at any of that yet because I've been away at this business retreat. But they're always making little changes. So what I think is really important is that you befriend people. So for example, I would be, I'm sure, Facebook friends with all of you in this group right now. So then it's very easy for me to invite you into a group. But also, I think the best thing of all possible is, because I'd rather not invite people in a group, I'd rather have the questions set up when they join the group so that I get their email address, so that they agree to the group rules. So if I invite them in, they bypass that step. So the better thing I would say is use the URL that is your Facebook group, you know, for how am I trying to say it? Like the www.facebook.com, all of that URL. So use that and put it on your personal profile, put it on your business page and say, hey guys, do you want to join my Facebook group? As you know, these are the advantages of being in there. Then put up the link and then they request to join, and then they have to answer the questions.
All right, lovely, thank you.
Cool, thank you. Okay, guys, it has been beautiful to see you. And I look forward to seeing you either next Monday for Google My Business or on Wednesday for creating your lead magnets to be growing your email database. So great to see you guys, and have a lovely afternoon. And thanks for being here. Bye.
Thanks, Carls. Bye.
Thank you.